Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Becoming Anchored podcast. My name is Laura Deneen. I'm your host for today's episode, and I am super thrilled for our guest today. She's just a wealth of wisdom and fun and knowledge, and I can't wait for y'all to learn from her. She's over there giggling already. I love it. But if you're new to the podcast, we really are about all things body image and helping you move towards peace with your body. If you're looking for support in Tennessee, we would love to see you at my practice at Anchored. Courtney will share about the collective and the resources that she offers as well at the end of the show. We would love to see you for therapy. And if you're not local to the state of Tennessee, we encourage you to reach out to someone local to you. So without further ado, welcome, Courtney.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah. Courtney and I were just chatting. I mean, I moved up to Nashville however many years ago. We decided 13, was that it?
At least, yeah.
Yeah, and so she's known me since I was like baby Laura.
Precious baby Laura.
Yeah, and has seen me evolve over the years and has just been such a steady source of support. And yeah, I'm really grateful for y'all to learn from her today. We were chatting before about the topic in regards to body image of what we wanted to talk about. And we really kind of landed on how social health impacts body image.
It does.
Courtney is an expert in both. And so I can't think of a better person to share her wisdom today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah. So what is social health?
Well, thank you for asking. I run into a lot of people who think social health is the ability to make friends. And so being sort of in that, I hate this term, but they call it like thought leader, right? Like sort of in that world of trying to establish what that is, trying to teach people about the importance of social health. I get the question a lot, like, well, I mean, do you guys just teach people how to make friends? Like, well, I mean, I guess kinda. I mean, no,
on a foundational
sort
maybe-ish.
Of, that's not what I have been a practitioner for about 15 years now, and I was in the music industry for 10 years before that here in Nashville. And what I have noticed with the majority of folks that I've worked with is when we really get down to the root of either body image issues, depression issues, anxiety, it's coming from a trauma, a wound.
Yeah.
And I think that our field does a really beautiful job addressing higher tiered functions of mental health and medication, meaning that we've got programs, we've got places, we've got protocol, we've got interventions for what we use to medicate ourselves. Food, booze, drugs, sex, gambling, shopping, all the things we do to try to ease the pain or establish a sense of control. Our field also does a really beautiful job addressing underlying mental health issues that are the issues that need to be medicated in the first place. Yeah. The depression, the trauma, the anxiety. What I had found over the years was that we stopped there. And no one's really asking the right questions sometimes, which is where are all of our mental health issues coming from? Why is everybody so angry and so scared all the time, especially of each other? And when I started asking that question about 10 years ago, what I found was the majority of us we are afraid of each other. We are afraid of what other people think about us. We are terrified that we're not going to fit in. We're scared to not be liked. We're really afraid of ostracization, which is natural, right? So we're humans. Yeah. We're pack animals. We're meant for tribe. We're not like a lone wolf who can go off and survive on his own. We survive in packs. Yeah. So the need to fit in and the need to be loved is innate. It's in our DNA. We're never going to outrun that. Trust me, I tried. With my eating disorder. I think we take it too far just as humans, where if we are not liked by someone or if we don't fit into a certain group, that somehow changes what we think about ourselves. And what I've noticed is from there, that seems to be an origin of mental health issues and medication to the mental health issues that's really not being addressed. So social health talks about the fundamental need to love and be loved, to exist in a healthy community, to understand how to navigate relationship.
Yeah.
To prevent a lot of residual mental health issues.
Yeah. And I mean, you just explained that so well. And there's so much to even making friends,
100%.
right? Like when someone's like, oh, do you just help people make friends? It's like, well, within that, right? It's like what even creates a safe friendship? How do we show up well for each other, whether that's like emotional attunement or respecting each other's boundaries, right? That is an overly simplified and reductionistic question.
No, 100%. Right? And we act out in social relationships what we were modeled from our family of origin, right? And I'll give you $1 million if you can find me a family of origin void of dysfunction. Like, give me a break. So I think that the phrase social health alludes to healthy relationship. I want us to stop meeting strangers. I want us to see more alike in each other than different. Yeah. Because we are the same animal. We're all the same on the inside. What you've noticed over the past 5-10 years, just in our own country, if you don't think like me, vote like me, talk like me, believe like I do, then you're an enemy. And we have lost any ability to communicate and share different opinions. We've lost sight of the fact that we are all the same. We all want to belong and be loved. I've watched over the years how people will isolate when they feel hurt or wounded or left out. Especially kiddos, especially like a lot of my teenagers and middle schoolers. They don't want to go to school. They drop out of extracurricular activities because they're worried about all these things. And when they hole up in their rooms, what happens to them? They just kind of start to disintegrate because they've broken and lost that healthy connection. What we see at the collective a lot, more often than not, is when people start to become a little more socially healthy, a lot of these other diagnoses sort of fall off of them magically. It's really powerful, I think, what being seen and being loved can do for a person.
Oh my gosh, of course, right? Like I'm thinking about people in my own life and even being seen today by you and like hugging you out in the lobby and like feeling so cared for by you. Like it's good for us.
It's so good.
It's like medicine for our souls. And you were one of the first people that taught me that, right? And it's like, hey, it's okay to be you. It's okay to be authentic. I don't have to try to be Courtney. I can be Laura. And you need to be Courtney, right?
There's enough Courtney in the world, trust me. That's enough.
I love it so much. You're wonderful just as you are. But yeah, it's like permission to show up in our authentic selves, fully ourselves, and trust and know that we are going to have a group of people that love us and support us. And that doesn't mean that everyone has to.
No, and that is another really good point. I don't think that social health implicates that we have to be loved by everyone. I think belonging and mattering are two different things. And I want to fortify and empower individuals to understand that difference, first of all, and then be able to choose where they want to belong based on a socially healthy outlook and a socially healthy awareness of their place in the world, their importance in the world, and the innate understanding that they always matter no matter what. You matter.
Right.
But choose your rooms carefully.
Like where you belong.
Where you belong and what you want back out of that experience.
Yeah. That was definitely a mistake I think I made earlier in my life, right? Was mistaking the two, right? Whether it was like high school or particularly college.
Totally.
And this desire to be like liked and loved by everyone. And one of the things that I'm working on so much with my own clients, and I'm sure you see this all the time with your work too, is like permission to be like not liked, disliked.
Yes.
And permission to even be okay with it.
That's really hard.
It's like, hey, I don't have to be everyone's favorite person, whether that's personally or even professionally.
Yeah, agreed.
And like, there's actually a lot of freedom that comes on the other side of that versus me ruminating about why someone doesn't like me or trying to figure that out or doing these like unhealthy type relational behaviors to try to get that person to like me.
Yes.
It's exhausting.
And it relates directly to body image because that was one of the first things that I thought would get me loved.
If I can change my body.
If I could just be skinnier or if I could just look a certain way, then guys would like me. Girls would want to be my friend. I would feel better about myself
Yep.
And so enter the ideas of dieting, of all the behaviors, of all the things to try to get control over this container to get me what I really, really wanted, which was love.
Right. And oftentimes people don't know that that's what they want.
Agreed.
They don't necessarily know that that's what's underneath the body image distress or issues. It's like,
you just want to feel safe.
Right.
You just want to feel safe.
Well, because I think, and I just talked about this with our last guest, Ashley, who saw it in the lobby, but it's like a lot of people really want to follow this cultural norm that is like promoted by diet culture or weight stigma of like, if you look a certain way, then you will be loved. And it's like, okay, I understand that that's a message that's out there, but that's not it. It's so not it, and it's not the depth of love or belonging that we actually are looking for.
Amen. And that is where I want to empower people to choose or not choose that message. Yeah. I don't know if I want to belong to that message.
Totally.
Do you see the difference? Yes. So like I matter no matter what my weight is, no matter what my body looks like, but I want to have the ability to choose to be a part of that culture or not choose to be a part of that culture instead of getting sucked in the way you did, the way I did, the way the majority of Americans, especially women, but men too.
I mean, yeah, everyone.
Everybody gets sucked into this idea that like if I can just look a certain way, I'll be happy, I'll have the life I want, I'll find a partner, all of the things. And I really want to empower people to make that choice instead of feeling like it's just a foregone conclusion.
Well, and I think speaking of conclusion, what comes to mind as you're talking, Courtney, is like oftentimes what will happen is if you are rejected by someone, or say you have like a memory from childhood of being like bullied, right? What can happen when clients get to our offices is they're like, oh, my body is the problem.
That's it. Absolutely.
Right.
And if I could just change that, then I'll be so happy. I'll have the life I want. And it's hard to not get into that debate. Be like, no, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Right. Because I remember being in that mindset and like, I would have bet my life that was true.
Yeah. Yeah, but it makes sense, right? Like if you're rejected or bullied, and again, bullying happens like no matter how old people are. I have a 3-year-old little girl, and like I'm, already like thinking about like how I'm going to respond if she's bullied on the playground. But it happens like in professional environments as well,
yes,
right?
It does.
When we grow up.
Yes, it does.
And so this message, like, or the internal message that develops oftentimes is my body is the problem. If I can just fix my body, then, I won't be bullied or rejected or not belong.
That's right.
But the reality is that misses so much of the nuance.
Yeah.
Right? Which is, oh, maybe that person like mistreated me. Or maybe I can practice starting to like use my voice more, or set boundaries, or speak up for myself, or search out other types of connection if my values don't align with this person in the first place who was mistreating me.
Yes.
Right? So it's like all these like nuances that oftentimes maybe our clients aren't aware of that are available to them, and that's where we step in and start to cultivate some of those options for them so that it like moves away from like my body is the problem.
Yeah, I agree. I couldn't agree more. Do you hear too with a lot of your clients? I do with mine. I am so unhappy and it's my body's fault. So it needs to be punished. It needs to be disciplined. It doesn't do what I want.
Yeah.
These kinds of things. I think it's the same thing, only different. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, it does.
I'm not happy. I don't feel loved. I don't feel safe in the world and in my own body. So I'm going to take it out on my body because it's not looking how I want it to look. It's not doing it. And if it would just do that, then all of these bad things would go away.
Which is like somewhat magical thinking.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that like I want to hear a client out when they share that with me, right?
Yeah,
and I'm like, hey,
definitely.
tell me a little bit more about like what you
I would have sworn to it.
Right. Like let's talk more about like the specifics of that. It is somewhat magical thinking, right? And helping people see like, hey, okay, it does sound like you have body image distress and there's all these other things in your life that you really want to work on that maybe don't have as much to do with your body, right?
Agreed.
Like, is there a way that we can have confidence in your social relationships with your present day body?
Yeah.
Versus like trying to change it so much.
Yeah, I agree. And something that I talk about a lot too is I liken it to a football field. Just recovery, the recovery journey, understanding your place in the world, how your brain explains the world to you.
Yeah.
Our field, I believe, does a beautiful job taking us to the 50-yard line.
Yeah.
Which is individual work. I can scoop you up and we can do some amazing one-on-one work. That gets us to the 50-yard line. To really get it to the other end zone, you have to understand how to work in a system and understand that this world doesn't owe you anything. it's not responsible for bowing to your triggers. You live in a world that's not really going to care about you being healthy. So, and that's just the truth of it.
Yeah.
So getting to the 50-yard line is the self-fortification. And I truly have seen and believe that the other half of that play, of that football field, is understanding how to not just survive various systems that we're in, but really thrive in them.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and have you ever had like a session or a couple sessions in a day where you're like talking about the same thing with two people and
Yes.
you're like, I want you guys to meet?
That's why I started the collective. I'm like, we need groups. You guys need to meet each other.
You're like, you guys would be best friends.
I know.
But like ethically, like, you know, we do more individual work here, so I can't just be like, hey, come into this session with this person.
I know.
But then that's why you started the collective.
That's it.
So I love it so much.
Yeah.
But yeah, my body is the problem. I think that's an accessible narrative in our culture. I don't love it. I don't agree with it. But it is accessible because people do that, right? Yeah. And I think oftentimes it feels like a quick, easy, whatever that means, fix for people instead of really like unpacking the layers of pain that are actually there.
That's hard. Nobody wants to do that. It's
Right.
hard. It takes forever. You got to look in the mirror. You're going to see some stuff maybe you don't like that you want to change. Nobody wants to do that. A diet's way easier.
I know. And nobody wakes up and is like, yeah, I can't wait to be uncomfortable today.
Yeah.
Like,
super. Yeah. 100%.
I remember when my first therapist who we were just talking about was just like, you know, explaining to me the purpose of emotion and like feeling uncomfortable. And I think I like glared at her.
Yeah.
You know,
like,
I was
how dare
like,
you?
What?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
no. And even nowadays, like I've been in a lot of therapy. I've had the privilege of working with like amazing therapists here in Nashville myself. And I like feel forever grateful for them. But there's even a point sometimes when I'm like, okay, is there something I'm like trying not to feel? Yeah. Right? Like
Probably.
Like just being really honest with myself about that. And I think this is both like the underlying layers for both social health and body image.
There's so much crossover. How could there not be?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How could there not be? So again, like if you're my therapist and you're teaching me self-love, self-acceptance, all the things, tolerance, all of the things, and I start to get up out of my eating disorder, I start to shift. Maybe not to body acceptance, maybe just tolerance.
Yeah.
Maybe I can just tolerate it. Then I leave your office and I go back out into this culture and this world and this country.
It's hard.
It's so hard, and we are all a part of this system whether we want to be or not. So that's what that's the socially healthy piece of, I believe, of a recovery journey.
Like how do I show up in my
100%.
relationships with healthy body image?
In my family, at my school, in a club, in a work environment, in a friend group. We're all a part of a million systems, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah, for sure. What would you say to our listeners or kind of next steps if they want to work on how they show up in their bodies, specifically in their relationships?
Yeah, that's a really great question. First things first, you've got to know what's going on as it's going on in real time. I think it's really helpful for like my clients to come in and talk to me about something that happened last weekend.
Yeah.
But we need to start to narrow the gap between the thought or the self-criticism or the event and the processing. And bring that shorter and shorter and shorter to where like I'm in the moment, I'm standing in this group of people, I'm in this environment, it's happening right now. I'm having these thoughts. Laura's judging me. Laura thinks I'm terrible. Laura's looking at me and going, oh my God, she's so fat. Oh my God, she's so embarrassed. Like, da-da-da-da-da-da. Which is just me projecting my own self-criticisms onto you. I can't read your mind. Maybe I could read your mind because I think it's probably very lovely in there. I think there's probably a lot of glitter.
Glitter.
Yeah.
Sparkles.
Yeah, sparkles.
We're very much into
Precious.
like cookie decorating right now with the holidays. So
there it is.
Yeah.
There might actually be a lot of
glitter
a lot of glitter in there.
Sprinkles, whatever.
So I think that's the first thing, the first step anyway, is to understand and to be able to observe your own thought process and observe yourself in a system void of judgment. And I think that's the hardest part, is to really be curious about some of the things that show up in your head instead of automatically believing them or judging things that I shouldn't do that. That's a horrible thing to think. No, just hang on. Just be curious about it and notice like what's showing up in real time as it's showing up. That's where the magic can happen, and that's where the course correction can start to happen, is in real time.
Yeah, because then we have the option to slow down and do something differently.
That's right. Yep.
right?
And the brain, in all its glory, is a very slow beast, and it's repetition. It's over and over and over. It makes my job really hard. I really wish I could just give people a pill and be like, boom, your brain's different.
Yeah.
So it learns by repetition.
Yeah.
And so the more we can practice forming new synapses in the moment, the faster we can recover from body image issues, eating disorder issues, social health issues, all the things, and not use disordered eating or body image issues to medicate what's really going on the inside.
The deeper stuff.
That's right.
Yeah. Thank you, Courtney, for your time today.
Yeah,
this has been such a lovely conversation. I'd love to have you back, too.
Please, I'd love that.
Yeah. What would you like to highlight? So tell us a little bit about the work you do at the Collective. I know you're also the clinical director at Renewed, so tell us about both.
Yeah. So I have a private practice. I'm the clinical director for a nonprofit here in Nashville called Renewed. I've been involved for 22 years with that organization, which is crazy. We do a lot of free support groups. So if anybody is listening that needs some help and is looking for some free resources, we provide all free resources to the community. And then I do a lot of trainings for clinicians and making sure that our eating disorder clinicians have access to the best, most recent research, new on point topics that we're kind of hearing in sessions and stuff as the trends sort of move around, making sure we get training for that. I started the Collective, which is actually a program. It's an 8-week program, and I started it because of what I'm talking about. I kept looking for some type of resource to help a lot of my clients over the years, and there's not anything anywhere, anybody doing anything like this, addressing social health as a precursor to a lot of mental health and self-medication issues. And I kept thinking, golly, somebody needs to do something about this.
You're like carrying the torch. And
somebody should really do that. Well, I had been complaining about it for years to my mother. And my mom, she's great. I'm from Atlanta. My mom is sort of a cross between like Paula Deen and Jerry Seinfeld's mom. You know what I mean? So just like real neurotic, but like she'll feed you, baby. So I was on the phone with her one day just talking about how I felt so like guilty and responsible that I know that these clients of mine need this resource. And finally one day she just over the phone, she said, Courtney, honey, either you do something about it or hush. And I thought, all right, Mom, if that's your real name, I will do something. Watch this. I will do it.
It's amazing.
And so I started it about 7 years ago, and we're still kicking.
I love it.
Yeah, and it's an 8-week program that addresses nutrition, medication, group work, therapy work, massage, family work, and teaches people how to thrive in any system that they are kind of dropped into.
That's amazing.
And teaches them how to protect their individual work as well.
Thank you. We'll make sure to include a link in the show notes for that. Yeah. We always close with an affirmation or homework or homework. Would you like to provide one of those two things or both?
I would love that.
Okay.
It sounds simple, but it has gotten me through some of the hardest moments of my life. For me personally, I like to put one hand on my heart and one hand on my stomach because it sort of is body-soul connection, just sort of. And I like to close my eyes and I'll say my name and I'll say, I'm safe.
Yeah.
I'm safe. It's so simple, but it's so regulating. I'll say, Courtney Grimes, you're safe. You're safe. I'm safe. Courtney's safe. I'm okay. I'm safe.
I felt myself like exhale even as you said that. Yeah.
My therapist taught me that a million years ago, and that if I forget everything else she ever said, that stayed with me. I tell everybody I know. It's so, so good. I use it even, at night when you're trying to go to bed and your thoughts are racing and all the problems and then, your brain will replay a moment from the 3rd grade.
Yeah.
How dare you do that? That was so on and on and on and on. I'll just lay there and do that. I'm safe. I'm safe. I'm right here. I'm safe.
Well, and there's so much present focused awareness in that. And I think just a reminder too, like as we're showing up in our relationships, just to be insightful around like how our bodies are carrying us through those relationships, how we're talking to our bodies, how we're experiencing our bodies.
It matters.
Yeah, it does matter. Thank you for your time today.
Oh my gosh, you're so welcome.
Yeah. And thank you all for listening to the Becoming Anchored podcast. We will see you next time. Take good care.